Hi, we are Nanditi and Computational Mama, and we run a creative technology studio in India called Ajaib Ghar.
All the way in India, we've been testing out an exciting new creative coding workshop format and practice called code.drift. Code.drift is based on the values of collaboration, community, and our long standing interest in finding new ways of thinking and creating at the intersection of tech and culture. It all started with Nanditi's sound design piece for a theatrical production featuring women folk musicians of Rajasthan, which is in the west of India.
I was called upon on the very day of the show, and the limited preparation time presented this amazing opportunity to rely on live coding as a real time approach to sound design. Since the production was theatrical as well as musical, I ended up using a mix of ambient samples of daily life, living spaces, environment, nature, along with live coded music and beats to set the atmosphere and support the story as it progressed.
तेरी कमला देवी वाला गाणं बजाणं करा सब कुछ करा पेट के पास करा राजस्थानी भाटा मारवाड़ का हाँ सब कुछ करा खुशियों करा बहुत खुशियों.
This sparked something exciting. What would it mean to co create live coded soundscapes, using audio and visual elements of the city to craft an immersive experience with live coding? And this is how CodeDrift was born.
CodeDrift is a 4-day workshop to learn live coding with Sonic Pi and P5 Live. Inspired by the idea of dérive, we devised a workshop format where participants drift through the city and immerse themselves in its sights and sounds. The city becomes the anchor point of the workshop. It creates a unique context and aesthetic language to the live coding experience, but more excitingly allows for new ways of looking at how we can think and learn about code.
What is dérive, you ask? While the roots of dérive are in the avant-garde movements of 1950s Paris, we interpret it as a playful yet intentional walk through varied ambiences of the city. Dérive encourages you to be drawn into the terrain and details of the city. The purpose is to experience the city together and bring it back to the creative coding experiments of the workshop. The word dérive translates to drift, and it's at the heart of our code drift experience, a fusion of the whimsy of drifting and the precision of coding.
CodeDrift is as much about learning as it is about the atmosphere of the workshop. CodeDrift is about stripping away from the usual notions of learning and making new meaning of code, art, and the city. We've set a few ground rules for this. We ensure that the workshop doesn't replicate didactic formats. We avoid traditional seating and furniture. CodeDrift is always organized in relaxed and energetic spaces. Our venue partners are chosen with care and are committed to building creator communities. They, like us, are interested in making and creating in a conscious and sustainable way.
CodeDrift intentionally unfolds in small cities or towns, characterized by a leisurely pace, warm hospitality, and ease of navigation. These locales strike a harmonious balance between age-old traditions and the contemporary. The deliberate selection of small cities aligns with our vision, connecting the workshop's ambience to the unhurried charm and community spirit inherent in such locales. In this way, culture and people take center stage in the CodeDrift experience.
I think for me it was really the theme of the workshop and the setting itself. I thought it was very interesting to have this element of doing the soundscapes and the visuals of a particular location. I think one of the main or the cool things about this was that I got to meet a lot of interesting folks, and I think that was also something that I was hoping. So I think like a really cool bunch of people came together, and I think we ended up making something nice. Again, like I said, I think the city was so nice, and having this particular theme around which the workshop was focused was also, I think, nice. It sort of gave the group a lot of energy, and I don't know, we ended up making interesting things.
We often get questions about whether participants need coding skills or a background in art. However, at CodeDrift, there are no prerequisites beyond having a functional laptop. Anyone who's curious and caring can join the workshop.
I've really enjoyed the experience. I came in with really zero knowledge and I was a bit intimidated, but everything was broken down into digestible chunks.
I've never coded because I had no idea what I was getting into. It's all JavaScript and everything. But the instructions and the whole process was made very easy. They were always open for questions. I never felt sorry or bad for asking questions again and again. It never made me feel that. That was really nice.
We have had artists, musicians, coders, and many kinds of makers in the past sessions. Participants who are beginners to code approach code.drift as a gateway into creative coding practices. The workshop content is basic and covers the fundamentals of code, visual art, and music. Our equal focus on art and music also opens up the workshop to experienced coders as an exciting step into their creative pursuits.
I think I'm more appreciative of music now that I learned Spotify, and there's just so many syntax and so many terminologies I didn't know of earlier. And I think next time when I listen to music, I'm more appreciative.
I've been into the creative industry from last 9 to 10 years, and I've studied graphic, but I completely changed my career to music. And I've approached a lot of coders before, but it was more of a male progressive society, so I got rejected a lot. And then I saw an opportunity that the women are hosting it, and it was quite powerful. So that's the reason I did it.
At the workshop, we strongly encourage working together, debugging together, and helping each other. code.drift holds space to learn at your own pace without judgment, and there is limited pressure on creating polished outputs. We established a paired performance format towards the end with an open jam to encourage collaboration. This allows participants to feel like they can lean into their strengths, whether audio or visuals, and hold space for someone who can complement their skills and ideas. Our wish is that the paired duo or group are able to continue friendships and collaborations beyond the scope of the workshop. code.drift encourages the philosophies of live coding as a space for open, judgment-free, improvised making and playfulness, while embracing glitches and crashes as opportunities to land upon happy solutions. Every code.drift concludes with an open and collaborative jam session that perfectly encapsulates these fundamental values, allowing participants to collectively celebrate their creative journey. So, where do we go from here?
We are motivated to take code drift to various cities, hopefully beyond India as well. In response to the community's enthusiasm, we are contemplating a traveling code drift that spans multiple cities and even more extensive and diverse drift. This approach allows participants to freely join and leave at different legs of the journey or complete the entire circuit with us.
Finally, and most essentially, our focus remains on community growth. We are committed to building collaterals and labs that run concurrently with Code Drift workshops, creating a shared space for a diverse mix of participants, whether they are new to Code Drift, have been part of past experiences, or are seasoned creative coders. This environment fosters connections, encourages interaction, and provides a platform for sharing ideas, experiences, and mutual learning.
To know more about Code Drift, say hi to us on Instagram, and you can scan this QR code to watch more of our Code Drift sets.